Good morning, Angel. How are you? I get to talk to you because I see you.
Doing well. How are you?
Great. Great. Okay. Well, I'm going to talk today. I realized there wasn't a lot of promotion around today, which is kind of interesting. So thanks for those of you who are here, regulars. I love you. Uh, we didn't have a lot of things go out promoting our call today. So I don't know why, but it doesn't matter because you're here, Angel and Isabel, and I appreciate you being here. And there's a couple other people who are here off camera. Um, But today, I want to talk about the law of compensation. Who knows what the law of compensation is? Anybody? Anybody know anything? Have you ever heard? Okay, how about this? Have you heard about the law of compensation? We've heard about it, but we don't know what it is, right? Is that okay? Cool. So we've all heard about the law of attraction, right?
Yeah.
Right, what does the law of attraction say?
Cause and effect.
One more time.
Cause and effect.
Yeah, essentially what you put out is what you're going to get back, right? What you focus on expands, right? What you think about manifests is essentially the law of attraction. So today I want to talk about another of my favorite laws, and it is called the law of compensation. And I like to talk about this law because I think this is something I shouldn't say we don't, but what I've noticed is a lot of real estate agents are scared to talk about compensation. And a lot of times I think I know why. I think I've asked a lot of questions why, but I think sometimes we're scared to talk about compensation. We're taught in a lot of our coaching programs, like, oh my gosh, when you get a compensation objection, these are the scripts you have to do to overcome it, right? Like we're like, oh my gosh, I have to fight for my compensation, right? And then now with this whole lawsuit and this new settlement and all the new laws, right? There's other things that we have, like our compensation is always being questioned. Right? The general consumer tends to think that real estate agents make too much money. Right? And so I like to talk about the law of compensation because this is where once you fully understand this law, once you fully understand what it does for you, the better off you're going to be. The more easy it's going to be when the compensation conversation inevitably comes up. Because how many of you have ever signed a client without talking about compensation? Oh, you have? There's been 2 people who've actually signed without talking about compensation. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, that's not going to happen anymore because we have to talk about compensation. So no longer will that happen. I'm going to tell you, like, you have to make it so that doesn't happen because I don't think your compensation should be a hidden fact from buyers, from sellers. It needs to be very, very, very transparent. So in essence, the law of compensation says one thing. Okay. Simply put, it states that your income and your success are a direct reflection of the value that you bring. Your income and your success are a direct reflection of the value that you bring or the value that you provide. The more value you offer, the more you're going to receive in return. Okay, I'll put that in the chat for you all who want to see it here. Simply put, the more your compensation is a direct reflection of the value that you provide to others. So for those of you who said that they've signed clients before without having a compensation conversation, the question then becomes, what value are you providing to someone? To not talk about your compensation, what value you're providing to them. And this is where a lot of people think, the general consumer tends to think, we make too much money. That's the negative stuff around there. I don't listen to any of that kind of stuff, but that's what the negative says, right? And it's because what happens is in 2020 to 2022, how many of you were in the business? How many of you put a listing on the market and it sold in one day? Okay. So what that tells the general consumer is that you don't provide any value. What that tells the general consumer is that you can put a listing on the market and let the market feed off of it. So whatever they're paying you, they shouldn't pay you. Because anybody can do that. We literally just had 5 people on this call raise their hand and say, I put a house on the market and it sold in 1 day. Today, who has listings that are on the market?
Yeah.
What are you doing for your listings today that are on the market? A lot more.
Yeah.
A lot more. They're sitting for, I have one that's been sitting for 75 days. 75 days. So you have to understand that the value that you provide to someone that is going to be directly reflected in the income that you earn. So if you feel like you want to earn more money, the answer to how to do that is very simple. What would the answer be? Anybody? And
More value.
provide
Value.
Provide more value. Provide more value, right? If you want to make more money, simply put, you need to provide more value. So how do you provide value? Okay. Some of the ways that we provide value as real estate agents are expertise, right? We're expert marketers, and we know how to market properties. We have expert negotiation skills. And if you don't have expert negotiation skills, you need to learn them. Because the one thing you want to understand about negotiation, it is not just about negotiating for the best offer. In this market, listing agents, you're negotiating for the price that you list that house at. Because if you list that house too high and you can't negotiate with your own client to get them to understand where you're coming from, that's a skill you need to learn. So negotiation goes above and beyond just negotiating offers, right? So if you need to become an expert in negotiation, that needs to be one of your things that you do in 2025. Negotiating is like a major part of our job. So one of the very first certifications I ever got was my certified negotiation expert. If you have that one, I loved the training. I loved the class. A lot of it stuff I still do today, of course. And I've just excelled on it since then, or expanded on it since then. So if you want to get a skill set on how to become a better negotiator, there you go. So what ways to provide value? Expertise, right? Marketing, not negotiation, understanding the transaction process, right? It's a lot more complex than most people think. Most real estate agents don't understand how complex the process is until they actually have a deal so they have a tough deal. When you have an easy one, you still don't understand the process. Once you get a tough one, who can agree with me on this? The first tough deal I had, I learned way more about the transaction process than I did on the very first easy one. My very first couple were smooth sailing, smooth. And then I got a tough one. And I was like, oh, okay, this is what transactions are really like, right? This is what it's really like to get somebody to a point and, there's a wall came up. And do we want to move forward? And pushing and keep moving forward every time, right? Those are some of the expertise that we provide. Some other ways that we provide value is with guidance, right? Helping clients navigate complex decisions. This is my favorite one. Helping clients navigate their emotions. So another skill set that if you don't have it, you should learn is emotional intelligence.
EQ.
If you don't know what your EQ is, you need to take a quiz and find out and then fix it if it needs to be higher. The number one mistake I see real estate agents make is getting emotionally attached to a transaction.
Yeah.
I've actually had someone do this more recently who she said to me, I think I care more about this than the sellers. I care more about the house than they do. So if you've ever said that to yourself, you need to back up. That's not high emotional intelligence, by the way. It's actually low emotional intelligence. Because the reality is there are 1,000,001 things in a transaction that you cannot control. So the more you get attached to the outcome, the more you get attached emotionally to the transaction, guess what happens? You can't negotiate anymore because you're emotional. You can't guide them anymore because you're emotional, right? You're not going to get a good review because they're going to sense that you're emotional. So the more you can understand how to guide somebody without letting your emotions get involved, the more value you're going to bring to your clients. Another way we provide value is problem solving. How many of you consider yourself to be a problem solver?
Oh yeah, this one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my favorite thing about what I do is problem solving. Let's see what could potentially go wrong. Let's mitigate it, right? Let's do whatever we can on the front end to maybe try to prevent what I think could go wrong. And this comes with experience. The more transactions you do, the more you're able to kind of project things that could happen along the way. The more you understand your buyer or your seller, the more you understand why they're doing what they're doing, their emotion behind it, what's the driving force behind them making a move, the more you become able to proactively solve their problems. So it's another way you provide value. And one more way that you provide value, and this is really, really important, I think every single one of us will say yes, absolutely, is support. The support that we provide to our clients. I've said this time and time again. There was a long time when I really only wanted to be only listings, because I have more control of the process. It's easier to control the outcome, right? Those who have listings have guaranteed income, essentially, because a house will sell as long as you price it right. And you're a good negotiator, by the way, to get the right price. An overpriced home is not going to sell in any market, doesn't matter. But the support, this is where I was going with that, is that's part of the reason that I love to work with buyers. Because that feeling, I love buyers and sellers, so I love both. I love my clients in general. I don't really care what kind of transaction they're doing. It's all about the person, not the transaction. But this is the buy side that makes me happier, is that support that you feel along the way, that joy at the end, when you can really feel, you can reap the benefit of the journey that you just took with them. Because a lot of times with buyers, you're working, in today, unfortunately, America has more debt than we've ever had in our history. So you're working with people who already have a lot of debt most of the time, maybe lower on cash. Right? A lot of people have credit problems. And so the more you can be that support and guide for them at the end, that reward is just like, yeah, ooh, makes me feel so good, right? So the law of compensation says that your income and success are a direct reflection of the value that you provide. So you want to make more money, right? Raise your hand if you want to make more money. Please, I hope everybody on this call raises their hand right now. I see 2 people who aren't. Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you, those 2. You knew who you were. I didn't have to call you out. All right. We all want to make more money. And it's okay. It's okay, by the way, to say you want to make more money. There's no shame behind wanting to make more money. There's no shame behind wanting to be in real estate because it can be a lucrative career. There's literally no shame in that. That is the joy of what we do. So if you want to make more money, bottom line is you have to provide more value. So think about a couple of things. And when you're thinking about how to provide more value, there's a couple of things I want you to think about. Providing more value is beyond just a transaction, right? It's about getting to know your clients on a deeper level. How many of you have heard me talk about this before? Getting to know your clients on an emotional level, even though I say don't be emotional with them, understanding their emotional journey. The more you can understand your clients at a deep level, the easier it is to provide more value. You have to get really deep into understanding what is going on up here, what's going on here. Why are they doing what they're doing? Why are they making this move? The more you can understand your clients on an emotional level, I'm going to tell you one thing that is absolutely guaranteed. You can mark my words on this. When you will know that you have fully understood your client at a deep level when you don't hear any objections about the market. Because I have something to share with you right now. People will buy or sell regardless of what home prices look like, what the market looks like, what interest rates are doing. They will buy or sell when they are ready. So you're spending all this time right now trying to overcome objections on how to handle, oh, I'm going to wait for the market to crash. I'm going to wait for the interest rates to go down. And we all spend all this time chasing that, trying to figure out what to say to that. How do we solve that? How do we overcome that objection? Well, this is how you overcome it. You understand that they're not emotionally ready. That's how you overcome it. That's easy. They're not emotionally ready. So you got to find out what is the emotion behind what they're doing. The other thing you want to think about is when you understand your client on a deep level, the way you start to provide more value is to personalize your service to them. I'm sure we all do this in a sense. We all have some sort of personalization that we put on our clients, right? I'm sure that we all have something that we do that's special. But when you have to do it one by one, it becomes kind of challenging to one by one provide something personalized. When if you build your business around a person, a persona, your personalization, by the way, can be scaled. So when you build your business around a persona of a client, of the emotions that drive them, of the reason why they're making their move, whether it be buying or selling, when you build your business around that and you speak to that in all your marketing and all your efforts, you can scale your personalization. So your clients don't feel like you are templating anything. It's personalized because you've already connected them on an emotional level on the front end. This is how you provide more value. This is how you make more money. And I say this because 2024, who sold less homes than you did in 2023? Who earned more income by selling less homes? I earned 2 times more income than I did in 2022 and 2024, not 2 times 2023. But I earned nearly 6 figures more in 2024 by selling less homes. Why? Because the law of compensation says that your success and your income are directly related to the value that you provide. So digging deep into who my client is, deep into what they need, why they're doing what they're doing, and speaking to that in everything I do, starting at the very beginning, the acquisition phase, when I've gained the lead, essentially, all the way through the closing, all the way through post-closing. By understanding who they are and speaking to that, it literally is it's one of the best things I've ever done. By understanding the law of compensation. So Rima said, can you recommend a good negotiation skills practice, not listening? Wait, can you recommend a good negotiation skills class, practice not, what does that mean? Practice not listening.
I want a negotiation class where you're actually practicing through the things, not just sitting there and listening how to negotiate.
Yeah, that was the CNE class. I'll have to see who I took it through. It was a CNE. I don't remember who did it. Yeah, I'll have to see. That's who it was. So I think Kimbro asked the same question. Who was that class through? I'll look and see who did it or who was it proctored it? Who taught it? I guess is the question. The word. But I can look at that and find out. I don't know off the top of my head. Aaron said, I'm focusing on adding value and not at the marketing level, but things of value about community, events, etc. to my warm cold funnel. So it's easier when it comes time to add the marketing and value points. So that's, by the way, Aaron, that's marketing. So there's multiple types of marketing. So when you're saying marketing, are you saying not the marketing level of like the transaction or like, because all what you're saying with community events, etc., that is all marketing. Uh-oh, I can't hear you. I can see you talking, but I can't hear you. It's that headset. Well, he'll come back. He'll figure it out and come back to us. So I just want to know a little bit more what that means. So, okay. So far, are you getting a little bit of value from today?
No.
Are you taking some things from today and you're like, okay, I need to make some improvements in some areas? How many of you think you have a really strong understanding of how to get deep into understanding who your client is? I know Anna does for sure, because Anna and I have worked on it for a very long time. Nina does for sure, because Nina and I have worked on it for a very long time. Rima will. You will, Rima. You'll have even a stronger idea.
I'm working on it right now. I've spent 20 years building community programs with people. So it was all about asking the tons of questions to whittle down their priorities and fulfill their dreams.
So now that you know that, Rima, how do you take that to a higher tier marketing, to a top tier marketing level?
So there's one word just running through my brain this entire time, and it's video.
That's a method, yeah.
A method.
Absolutely. There's videos more than one way to market. That's not just video, though. But yes, video is in a way.
Going to give us the answer? No.
That's what you have to think about. I'm not giving you everything.
All right, Lynea, is my mic working now?
Yeah, I hear Aaron. Yay.
Oh, okay. So what I was maybe my fingers and my brain aren't cooperating. No, but like, twice or 2 note cards a day of sending them to my database in regards to market trends, whether it's, hey, what's in quartz or granite countertops? Is it bamboo flooring, or is everybody, that kind of thing. I'm not throwing any kind of market stats or how great and how valuable I am. I'm trying to build that rapport. By the time they get to the hot, then I'll layer in that step. So that's how I was trying to say.
Got it. Yeah, market stats have nothing, like markets, if you're trying to get leads by sharing market stats, like stop doing that. Just stop. There's your everyone, anyone else, not just you, Aaron, but anyone else on this call who, if you're trying to get leads by sharing market reports and market stats, stop. Get that out of your marketing. Like, no one cares. I hate to break it to you, because they can go to redfin.com, they can go to zillow.com, they can go to realtor.com, and they can find all the market stats they want. That's not going to make someone's decision. The market is not going to make someone's decision. Kimber's asking CMAs too. What do you mean?
As far as like when we deliver or send the CMAs, that has dates of market and everything. So are you saying
that's a different story?
Okay.
If someone has requested a CMA and they want market stats, that's a different story. But what I'm saying is, if you are just trying to get awareness to your brand by just sharing market stats, that's not going to work.
Gotcha.
There's a time and place for market stats to be shared. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. When someone requests a CMA, when someone says, hey, I'm thinking about selling my house, I'm thinking about buying a house. Absolutely. There's even a time on social media, if you want to do social media content and you want to throw in occasionally market stats, but I would caution you against sitting there and reading a script with a bunch of numbers. Because when you use words like absorption rate, who knows exactly what absorption rate means? I have no freaking clue, by the way. I don't know. I have no idea what that actually means. Like, I understand that it's like how quickly homes absorb, like, but what, like, who, if I don't understand that, and I consider myself a pretty smart person, right? But when you say absorption rate to the general consumer, okay. So okay, we'll get out of the rabbit hole of market stats here. And like, I'm going to say one more thing, because Jackie just asked the question. It's the last thing about market stats. Okay. I'm not saying never do market stats. I never said that. What I'm saying is that if you are trying to use market stats as a way up at the top of the funnel to gain awareness to your brand, don't do that. But when you want to start nurturing people because they may have indicated some way, shape, or form that they're thinking about selling their house or buying a house, that's when you use market stats. But I want to provide this tip. Pick 3 stats that you like and stick with those all the time. Because what I see often wrong, because a lot of real estate agents will send me their stuff because I'll sign up for funnels just to see if I can help. Do they want me to? And here's what I see the number one mistake is. Number of homes on the market, number of pending, number of inspections, how many homes sold in the last 60 days, how many sales to list, what's the sales to list or list to sales price ratio, how many days on market. Like, I don't even remember what I said because there's so many of them there. So pick the 3 that you are super comfortable with speaking to all the time and talk about those. Understand the other ones are back pocket information. But the thing that we do a lot in this industry is we overcomplicate things. We way overcomplicate things. And I learned this in corporate. One of the things I learned in my corporate career was to have a back pocket information. So do you know what the term back pocket means? Back pocket information?
Don't give it all.
Don't give it all. It means keep something back here in your pocket to pull out when the time comes. Right? So if someone asks a question to dig a little bit deeper, then have the stat ready. But when you're using it as an upfront tool, like for CMA drop-offs or however you're doing this, right? Not to gain awareness, conversion. That's the only way you're converting with market stats. Pick 3 bullet points. And the other thing that's going to happen if you pick 3 bullet points and you are doing video with them is that it's a lot easier to film the video. Because this is what people will stop and they won't do the video because there's too many stats and they have to write it into a script to make sure they completely understand it, analyze it, calculate it, and then the video never happens. So then we're not putting video out. When we do want to put something out about market stats, we're not doing it because we're overcomplicating it. So pick 3 and let that be your compass, okay? Those 3 are your compass, whatever they are. I personally prefer to talk about days on market. List to sales price ratio and number of active homes. Those are the 3 things I like to talk about. Because I think I can get a really good information from there. And then those are inevitably going to lead to additional questions. And then great, that's my back pocket information. So whenever I'm talking market stats, and by the way, I follow this practice even when I go into a consult with a client. I have those 3 stats at the top of my head. My brain literally cannot hold all the stats. So I hold those 3 stats at the top of my head. That's it. And then when we want to go further, I dig into the others if they ask, or when the time comes. Okay, so are we over the market stats rabbit hole?
One more. What were your 3 stats, Lynea?
Days on market, list to sales ratio, and number of active homes. Because I think all of those can give you really a good general idea of how the market is doing, and you can dig in from there. Because like number of active homes is really going to help determine pricing if you're going for a listing appointment. Like if you're in a house that has a neighborhood that has 100 homes and there's 30 active homes, oh boy, maybe you don't want to sell right now. Or if you do, maybe you want to, let's just see what your goals are, right? List to sales ratio really helps you understand if we should expect the price to come down. And then if you do more analysis, you can see was the house price too high in the first place, whatever, right? And then days on market, obviously we understand why we need to know that one. How long should we expect for a house to sit before it sells? Those are my 3 stats. So if you are going to talk market stats, there you go. But just so you know, market stats have very little to do with the value that you provide. So if we go back to law of compensation, the agent that knows the most market stats is not the one who gets compensated the most, by the way. So the market stats rabbit hole should just close. Okay. So any other questions about this? Nina?
It's not about this, but if you're done talking about the market stats, book recommendations that you would suggest
To understand law of compensation?
I don't know, whatever anything, because your book recommendations are really good.
I have like a million book recommendations. If you haven't read Surrounded by Idiots, please read Surrounded by Idiots. And you laugh. Read it. It really, this is really where if you want to start understanding your client, you need to understand their DISC, by the way. I know DISC is a very general term and there's like 36 different ways that a DISC can be different structure. But if you don't understand the DISC profile, the basics of the DISC profile, your emotional intelligence is going to be really low if you're a high D and you're trying to deal with a high C in a transaction. So the book Surrounded by Idiots talks all about the disc and how maybe they're not really idiots around you. They're just different than you. Especially me as a high D, right? I am a high D, very high D. Anyone, does that surprise anybody? No. I'm high D. So for me, I have some people who are very high C clients, and oh my God. Like if I didn't understand, if I hadn't like really dug into understanding people, that's where it started, was surrounded by idiots.
Well, there's all your market stats are for the C.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. The D's just want to know the end result. The end result. That's the D. I just want to know the end result. Ask Tyler. He's learning that about me right now. Tyler's just now working with me more closely, and he's just now learning about how high D I am. He probably already knew, but now he's like probably even more like, oh my God, you are a high D. It is true. Okay. Christine. You're muted. Can't hear you. Can see you talking. I'm not a lip reader though.
Sorry. Is there a book I can read so I can see exactly what I am?
Have you taken a disc analysis before?
Not really, no.
I would take a disc. I would pay for a disc. But you can go and search free disc assessment online all you want, and you can do a bunch of free ones. I would pay for a disc. It's free.
What is it? Disc?
Hold on. Yeah, I'm getting the link.
EISC.
Like you have SC.
Search best disc assessment, and you'll get a bunch of free ones online.
Okay.
I would pay for one. I strongly recommend paying for one. I don't do
One of the chat for you, and this is the one that I've done and had other people do.
There you go, Rima. Thank you.
What did she say? I didn't hear.
She said it's in the Rima put one in the chat for you, and that she's done that one. I think I probably done that one too. I mean, I don't know. Oh yeah, I have done that one.
And that website has a lot of information about the different styles too, and they send you a good little report. I think I paid for the report. I don't remember.
Yep.
Okay. I was a little surprised by mine.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to make a special offer for you. If any of you are interested in learning more about how to dig deep on your client, I will give you a free 15-minute session. Okay, Tyler just put the link in the chat. And in that 15-minute session, I will happily talk you through how to actually start digging a little bit deeper into your client. Because I'm going to be real honest, another announcement, my last day hosting this call will be the last Friday of this month.
No.
So another good reason, if you would like to learn a little bit more about how to have more coaching from me, is book that 15-minute call. Because not only will you get some coaching from me right away, but I can also talk to you about different ways of how to continue getting coaching from me. So this Friday call will no longer be mine after the end of this month. So we have just a few more weeks together.
Wow.
More weeks together.
The best one of the week.
Don't worry, Rima. You and I are still. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna be working together soon. We're gonna have fun, Rima. I promise you.
Wow.
I promise you.
That's a given when I'm in the room.
Obviously, you and me in the room together. I mean, don't forget about everybody else.
So if I'm doing the Catalyst program coaching, should I still book this 15-minute, or are we gonna do a lot of that in that coaching?
We'll do a lot of it in the coaching, so you probably don't need to. But yeah, so if you do want a free 15-minute call, please feel free to book that. Otherwise, I will see you next week. What is our topic next week? Hold on, let me figure out what that is for you. Bear with me here.
You should do like a transitioning away from people you love, coaches you love.
That's a great idea, Rima. I like that. Okay, so next week is more about client relationships. So building and maintaining client relationships. And then I think the week after that, we've got a Q&A. So come prepared with your Q&A. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So everyone have a great week. I will see you next Friday.
Thank you.
Bye.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.